Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the Thai Grand Prix, race 18 of 20 for MotoGP in 2024. I don't have time to go over the starting lineup because I can't believe I actually managed to wake up just for this at 4 in the morning. But three races to go. Jorge Martin leads Pecco Bagnaia by 22 points. And it's going to be in the rain. This is going to be fun. The Chang International Circuit in Thailand, 2.674 miles or 4.304 kilometers. No, excuse me, that's the wrong track. 2.83 miles or 4.554 kilometers. So total race distance will be 73.6 miles or 118.4 kilometers. So this means that that race length is 26 laps around the track. Pole time set by Pecco Bagnaia was 1 minute 28.7 seconds. So that's an average speed of 114.859 miles per hour.
This is your chance to really bring that gap down. If you're Jorge Martin, you just want to survive the first 2 or 3 laps, no mistakes. You want the race to settle so you've got a chance to see where the grip levels are.
They all had horrible starts when they practiced them earlier today. They've gone with the medium tyre compounds here so that if it does dry up, because the rain is halting for the moment, they should last the distance. Here we go then. 26 laps of the Thailand Grand Prix.
Lights on, lights out. Here we go. Jorge Martin with by far the best start, goes from 3rd to 1st. Pecco Bagnaia starts on pole, goes back to 4th. Oh, one of the Ducatis lost quite a few spots. That's Bastianini. Bagnaia is back in 2nd. Martin goes wide. Bagnaia takes the lead, but Jorge Martin crosses back over to hold on. Side by side are the title contenders. Martin still leads.
Yeah, Martin started to lean the opposite way, trying to block off, and he was wide there. Martin out on the curbs. He's
slipping around a bit.
Down now, because these are the moments you don't know what the grip levels is going to be like. It's so easy to make a mistake.
Wow, that was what we want to see, isn't it? The 2 title hopefuls going elbow to elbow, but another moment for Martin.
89 is so slippery. There's another twist.
Something's happened to him at the moment as riders file past him all the way through. Still it's Martin at the front from Bagnaia in 2nd place, and then Marc Marquez behind them just watching on in 3rd. Fabio Quartararo 4th, Acosta 5th. Brad Binder has made a good start in 6th place, not necessarily where the specialist. John Antonio 7th, Morbidelli 8th, and Zarco in 9th. Right to the white line for Martin.
Yeah, on the curb there, you can see it slid as soon as
I've never seen a MotoGP race that was run in the wet before. This is interesting. Franco Morbidelli passing by Fabio Di Giannantonio. We've finished lap number 1.
Because we've got it at the front of this race. Bagnaia knows he needs to make an indentation into Jorge Martin's.
I'm going to wait for the race to stabilize a bit. Then another lap before I update the top 15.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your chance to get some people in between you. Oh, Pedro's in way too deep there. Massive mistake.
Ooh, someone's gone off. Is that Acosta or Augusto Fernandez? Acosta, Pedro Acosta. He's back to 7th place after going wide in turn number whatever.
He's under pressure now from Frankie Morbidelli. Down towards turn 4, Morbidelli comes through to reclaim 6th place, but Pedro Acosta will not know when he's beaten, and on the inside there, Morbidelli just lays the bike over him and does well to hang on in front of the rookie.
That was brave. Really brave.
Martin just opening.
I woke up 10 minutes ago.
In that third sector on track there. Incredible.
mean, it's what we've seen Martin do at times this year when his back's against the wall. He does things you're not expecting. This is impressive.
Fabio Quartararo battling for 4th. He started 6th, trying to get past Brad Binder. Holds on, gets 4th spot.
I love it. Binder just does not flinch at all. Any normal rider would have picked the bike up a little bit. Binder just kept it late in there and look straight away having a look down into 12.
Yeah, he's just going to sit in.
Martin's been able to get a lead.
An excellent start to this race. So Martin leads him across the line.
Lap 2 completed. Fastest lap, 1 minute 41.445. Wondering how much slower they go compared to the start.
For the conditions, but he is going superbly here. Remember how fast he went off? Remember in the Japanese Grand Prix last year? He was dry. He switched bikes and he just pushed on early in the race, didn't he?
Exactly.
And it worked. Yeah,
and he didn't used to be a good wet weather rider. Martin was in the lower classes, always a little bit nervous, a little bit edgy. But he's a different man now. And the man with the most to lose is risking the most out from setting the pace.
Just shows his sense of determination to take this title. This will be a massive.
Hopefully I'll miss anything. I need to
in the
take a quick
championship. The gap stands at 0.7 of a second. This is the part of the racetrack Bagnaia has just struggled on a little bit this weekend. He's been the best in the first part of the racetrack. But Marc Marquez is just keeping tabs on him in these early stages. He knows that any wrong move could skittle his future teammates out of the title chase.
Yeah, and there Bastianini didn't get a good start. The winner from yesterday, the sprint race, is down in 10th place. Just got mired in mid-pack and now looks like he's way back. It's going to be a long 24 laps for him.
Gap still steadying at 0.8 of a second between Martin and Bagnaia through turn 11, but we're really careful on the curves there. Martin runs it up high on the curve on exit, but that's okay from him as Bagnaia just hangs on there in 2nd place. Not disastrous, of course, if it finishes like this. It makes life really tough. He is the fastest rider on circuit. Well, he was until Jack Miller came through. As we predicted at the start of this one, Miller, who was 2nd here in the wet 2 years ago, has just got past the Costa.
Yeah. Now on the 4th lap, or on the 3rd. Yeah, we finished the 3rd lap.
BR46 bike. I think I might have seen a bit of fluorescence.
Yellow flag. Marco Bezzecchi is out.
Full wet race we had, I think, back in Argentina. That's Quartararo's going to go wide in turn 3.
Really wide.
Yep, Bezzecchi's walking off. He's done. Bezzecchi, at least at my point, was running 14th.
No.
Oh yeah, he just went loose on his own.
Yeah, easily. It's so easy to do that.
So,
chance to save it.
Joan Mir goes to 15th. Enters the points.
He's taken half a second out of him on the last lap. I think he just felt his way into this race as Pecco Bagnaia. Tell you what, over the years, Martin actually has a better record than Bagnaia in the wet. I'd have always said you'd have thought Bagnaia being a wet weather rider, but it hasn't necessarily worked out like that.
No, but if you think about it, over the past 3 years, we've not had that many. That's a
Quartararo is out. Contact with Morbidelli. He crashes out of 6th place.
You just can't do that from so far back. It's like, that's just brain fade. That was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Fabio Quartararo from 5th in the race.
That puts Johan Zarco into the top 15.
Into 6th, and as you say, he's the fastest rider on circuit. They'll have a look at that one. I'm almost certain Morbidelli's getting a big penalty for it.
Yeah. You can see Martin staring at his pit board there with him, like, he needs to know exactly what's going on, because when you're leading, you don't know. Your pit board's the only information you've got. I mean, you've got your dash that can send you something, but it's rare.
Why do I have that up?
You say in these races, they become long races, don't they?
Like, you cannot believe the lap times are over 10 seconds.
Jack Miller now is the fastest lap. As we're on the 5th lap, we finished lap 4. Oh, Martin goes wide, and Bagnaia takes the lead.
Marc Marquez is going to come through to 2nd, and there it is, riding tight, riding with his eyes with matchsticks in them. Jorge Martin, he knows that now his chance of extending the lead in this championship has just been made that bit harder.
Yeah, so what happens is he comes out the last corner, looks at his pit board, he sees the gaps come right down, it says Bagnaia, and then you think, oh no. So what do? You try harder, you push a little bit harder, and normally in braking zones is the place you do it. That's what we saw. In too deep. lost 2 places.
Wow. A change in the leader. Pecco Bagnaia now out front from Marc Marquez in second place. Jorge Martin may have found his limit in terms of the pace. Let's have a look at it. Bottom left of your screens.
Went wide.
And Bagnaia, just look how he's able to turn into the corner.
Yeah. Tell you what though, fastest man on the track is Jack Miller coming through, looking really good. I've got a feeling it's going to be Jack Miller.
Awarding.
So I'm going to have to say a bit of a win it or bin it. I mean, Jack will risk everything. He's nowhere in the championship. You won't mind me saying that. It's the reality.
What I'll say is Frankie Morbidelli's
Morbidelli, long lap penalty for irresponsible riding. Probably for the crash with Quartararo.
Completely destroyed someone. Look how far back he is. And then that's never.
He dive bombed
not even close,
Fabio,
is it?
and they got
not close.
penalized for it.
I don't think it's
Really?
Yeah, right through back through, which basically.
All right.
As in, I don't know if they'd use that as a penalty, but when something's so extreme.
I think so. I don't think
Morbidelli
that.
just got through on Jack Miller though. I think Miller went wide there, and so Morbidelli is now up into 5th. So I think Miller's
Morbidelli's supposed to take a long lap penalty.
Now he told he has to do a long
Wherever
lap
the track
penalty.
the
Surprised,
side
I am
is.
surprised it's not more, as Pecco Bagnaia leads the way. Wow, how his fortunes have turned around overnight. He looked yesterday like he just was not going to have the pace. We didn't know, actually, with the hard tyre, what the situation was going to be. Lorenzo Savadori's crashed out as Morbidelli takes his long lap. But I tell you what, this is a lifeline that the weather has thrown him today.
Yeah, it really is, and that's why you
shot on him.
Yeah, you
Another yellow flag.
Situations. Honestly, this morning when he opened his eyes and he opened the curtains,
I don't know what
and he saw
that
the
one's
rain,
for.
Bagnaia will have thought, oh yes, it's on. I have a chance.
Jorge Martin on that last lap, Neil, was 2 seconds slower than Bagnaia. Now, I'm not sure, on this lap he seems to have, got the bit between his teeth again, but on that previous lap he was 2 seconds slower with that mistake.
Yeah, and that's why you've got to be consistent. You can't rush it. The braking zones are the danger zones, because it's so easy to lock the front, run wide, especially down into there, into turn 12 is a tricky one.
It looks like the track, in terms of the spray, I'm not going to dry up. That's what I was thinking at the start, because the rain had halted.
I still don't know why there was why there's the yellow flag in sector 2. Someone must have wrecked.
But the worry was that, it would dry up.
Too far back to see, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not going to be the case today.
Bagnaia leading down in towards turn 3. Now he has the job of leading this one. This is the man who is the wet weather specialist, without a doubt. When you look at the stats over the years, his performance in wet weather, no different to that in the dry. Basically, he performs in both conditions.
Yeah, one thing though to note, he's not got a lot of experience in full wet conditions on that Ducati.
Much time.
There's been the odd little session here and there, but we haven't had much, have we, if you think about it?
No.
Where this man, the man in front, he's done many, many laps on a Ducati in the wet.
Marquez looks like he's closing on this lap, but this part of the track, it feels like that, doesn't it, anyway?
Yeah.
Jorge Martin just has to settle down. This is not the end of the world.
No.
All
right, so looks like Morbidelli's heard his penalty. He's now in 8th.
Goes up onto the white line on the outside of between turns 8 and 9. He would still have his first chance to take the title when we get to Malaysia.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Sector 3.
These are the races where you win the
Looks like Raul Fernandez has wrecked out or crashed.
Raul Fernandez has now
I don't know if he's
out
out.
the race. He was down outside the points in 16th. Hondas haven't come through like you might expect. Luca Marini was third fastest.
Marc Marquez sits the fastest lap.
Languishing down in 17th. Fastest rider on circuit again is Frankie Morbidelli.
No, Morbidelli, the first lap under 140.
0.6 of a second.
We're now on the 7th lap.
Yeah,
No,
Bagnaia
8th on lap 8
in the
of
Martin
26.
role, as he was at the start of this race, he will see the gap start to come down.
And this is what happens, right? So when you've had no real wet track time, it will go faster and faster. You'll start to understand where the grip levels are, where you can brake. You're literally learning as you go around.
Personal best laps for everyone in the top 10 apart from Pecco Bagnaia. Oh, that was Raul Fernandez's crash, bottom left of your screen. That's a heavy one. So he's okay.
2 drivers have won in the field of 1 here at Chang International Circuit. Marquez did it twice in 2018 and 2019, and Jorge Martin did it last year. The 2022 edition was won by Miguel Oliveira, but he's still out due to his injury. Oh, we got someone going. No, Morbidelli.
Second quicker than the leaders on that previous lap. A long lap penalty. He's taken out Quartararo, and his race is run.
And that puts Luca Marini into the top 10.
Speechless.
Well, yeah. It's funny because Frankie's one of the most intelligent riders in the paddock. Super calm, almost zen-like personality. But he has these moments occasionally where it's
Morbidelli might get going again.
All the front three have personal best laps, Neil, on that one. So does Miller in fourth. Now past Binder after his mistake. Costa lost the front.
Well, Costa almost goes off.
I have no idea.
Good save for the 31.
That was incredible.
Wait, Joan Mir just wrecked too?
Especially in the part of the corner that he did.
At the front, Marquez, you can see, is right on Bagnaya's tail. Binder is also right in behind Miller, but he'll do well to stick with the Aussie.
Maybe he didn't.
Binder will. That's Binder, though, isn't it? He won't want his teammate beating him.
No, they get on, don't they? Those two, but they'll be
get on
bragging rights in the bar afterwards.
Yeah, but they probably will be in the bar, knowing them too.
So, Bagnaia with Marquez right on his heels now. Jorge Martinez regrouped. Oh, switch from Bagnaia in there.
It looked like a late gear change can sometimes upset the back, especially in these conditions.
It's going to get tight. Marquez is coming.
So is Martin. The gap to third is now under a second.
Coming through is what I was going to say. But I think also he knows the situation.
Tracked off with drying.
Earlier this weekend, is it?
We also put base question who's going to be drying slightly. Who's out? Oh, it's Bastianini. He crashes out. That puts Alex Rins into the top. Into the top 15.
I don't know. He said that in a stamp addressed envelope, didn't he? He told you a long way back that was coming. And
okay, you know what? I say drying, but the track's still pretty wet. Jorge Martinez the fastest lap the last time around. We're now on lap 10.
Okay, no problem. If you're coming past me on the brakes, that usually will mean you're not going to quite make the apex, and that's what happened.
Yeah, Marquez obviously clearly feels he is quicker here.
He's got to be patient, Mark. There's no
19 bikes still going
17 laps to go.
of the 22 that started, even though several have wrecked, have already crashed out. So it just depends on which ones can get going again. Yeah, 19 bikes still going. But the ones that have wrecked, Fabio Quartararo, and Enea Bastianini are still going. Oh, Martin goes wide again.
I mean, he recovers so well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't even look like a wreck. Oh, well, he almost went wide again.
Out onto the paint.
He has to be oh so careful. It feels like, Neil, they are right on the edge of Rhodesia.
Well, that's what's happened is now that we've got to the point. Look at the lap times. We're into the 39s. We were doing 41s or 42s, the opening laps. The track's not got a lot drier. Essentially what's happened now is they're understanding where the limits are and they're just flirting with going over it.
Yeah, 39 was the time Marquez set as the fastest rider in warm-up. There were dry patches on the track in warm-up this morning. He looks so much better through there, doesn't he, Marquez, than Bagnaia? Yeah. But Bagnaia on the brakes.
Martin on the brakes into there, getting sort of.
Oh.
That's why. I'm like, he's closing in. But then lost off.
Bagnaia fastest lap, the last lap.
Really good for Pecco Bagnaia.
10 laps complete. Now on lap 11.
Up to be counted from the front.
Martin's making me nervous in third now. He's missed 3 or 4 corners in a row. The bike's fishtailing a lot. I feel like at this point in the race, he's risking a little bit too much.
On board with Bagnaia, looking at Marquez closing at a pace into turn 3. You can see Jorge Martin lurking there. Wants a piece of the action out front. You know, you just have to keep...
Marquez made a mistake there. Don't know what happened there. Look, almost
Martin was well behind him. Look at where Martin is behind. I think also he had a little bit of a wobble.
Let me replay Bastianini's crash. He's still going in 17th.
Not halfway point yet, Neil. laps.
And that's why, like I said, they're long races. It's at this point normally, you've been looking at your pit board, you've been focusing on the gap, who's behind you. You don't look at how many laps to go. But at this point, you feel like you've been riding for what feels like an eternity, because your concentration levels have to be, well, they're heightened. It's like absolute maximum concentration. You look at your pit board and it says L16, and you're like, it can't be. 16 laps to go whilst you're dancing on ice, skating around, holding your breath, hoping not to crash. It is so difficult. You are exhausted mentally at the end of these wet races.
It's not cold out there either, is it? We'll be testing every single aspect of these MotoGP riders. Best in the world. As they come to the line, there'll be 15 laps to go in this
Lap
wet
12
Prix of
now.
Thailand.
Yeah, I feel like Martin then learned from the last lap. He sort of lost a bit of time to the leaders. But I think even he realised that he was maybe risking too much. Got to listen to the warnings. The bike talks to you. You feel the tyres. You can understand where the grip levels are by now, so you know where the limit is. And the bike will give you warnings. We see slides. We see the bike moving around underneath the riders. You have to listen to that. Otherwise, you are down so quickly.
At this stage, you have to say, it's a champion's ride, isn't it, from Pecco Bagnaia out front, pushing on the pace. He's quicker than anyone else out on the racetrack. He's seen his opportunity, the door slightly ajar with the rain here, and he's kicked it off its hinges.
Made me nervous into turn 4, though. He was nearly on the paint at the point you tip in there. If he'd have been 1 inch further to the right, that would have been, well, he'd have been down.
He flirts with the white line there as well, on the run from 7 to 8. Another right-hander into turn 9. Loops all the way back on itself, this one.
Every time I look in the back of shot, Martin's slightly wide. It's like the balance is off with his bike. Ever so slightly. It's like he's rushing the corners a little bit. You think 2 laps ago he was on the back of these two, and he's now about, well, it's going to be what? About 1.5 seconds behind Bagnaia.
Marquez has got a little bit closer, you feel like, on this lap to Pecco
Lap
Bagnaia.
13. Marquez sets the fastest lap.
So maybe it's more Marquez starting to get the feel for it again. You know, you mentioned at the start about the brakes. You know, riding in behind someone in these kinds of conditions, it's just a concern, isn't it? One of those things about temperatures.
Absolutely. It generates more heat. He'll know what his front brake feels like. He'll know when the time to pass. If you're Marquez now and you're looking at your pit board and you're seeing it's growing from the rider behind, I would not be panicking. I would just stay there, because you're going to get to a point where if he passes Pecco Bagnaia, Bagnaia's going to look at his pit board, and if he sees a big gap to 3rd place, at that point he's not going to risk everything. There's no way he'd risk everything for those extra 5 points.
Or would you?
Yeah, yeah.
Not against
I mean, that's the
Marquez.
question.
No,
You're going for a championship, you're behind.
You'll think, why didn't I take 20 points
instead of 0? As things stand, Pecco Bagnaia is taking 9 points out of Jorge Martin's 22-point lead in
set
the
that up then
championship.
nicely.
He's closing in at a rapid pace here, Marquez. You just have to ask,
Marquez stalking his
where
prey.
do you make this pass safely?
Remember how he made the pass in the last 5 laps to Phillip Island to win last week.
Last corner, but it's never safe into the last corner because it's so tight. If you lose the front whilst you're trying to make the pass, you'll take the rider out. This is going to be it.
Here comes Marquez to the inside. Marc Marquez takes the lead. Bagnaia, oh, near contact.
Obviously is where Marquez feels he has to make it. I just don't think he feels
we're halfway through.
No, he's not got a chance down into turn 3. He's not got a chance into turn 4. What he's going to do, I think, now with what I've seen, he's going to set something up in turn 8. He's good through turn 8, maybe turn 9. I think one of those sneaky little passes.
Yeah. The one that Binder did last year, didn't he?
Bagnaia into there, then. The bike, I mean, they are braking so hard in these ridiculously wet conditions.
Clearly the GP24, we've seen it all weekend. On the straights, Marquez cannot compete, can he, with the way he sits down, the way he punches out of turn 1, down towards 3, and again down here into 4. But it's this sector now where Marquez has a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah, he's no disadvantage from this part to the end of the lap. That's what him now, just closing. This is where Mark's so fast, and he's just risking a little bit more, that's all.
This is through 7. This is where you're saying, Neil.
Yes, into the next corner, he's got a chance. Not on this lap, he's not close enough. But I was talking to Frankie Carceni before the start of the race, and he said, "Oh, Neil, honestly,
oh, he's lost it down.
Ah, Marquez crashes out. Oh man!
Trying to chase Pecco Bagnaia. That promotes Jack Miller.
No! Miller to the... Oh, Marquez will get going again. Or he's trying to get going. Oh, man!
He knew how much pace he was carrying. He hung on to it for ages, but it was the curb that did.
Damn!
Couldn't have done any more. But like you said, the reality is he's losing.
Jack Miller now is in the podium position.
And he's risking a lot through here. Watch the front fold.
Either Takaki Nakagami gets in the points position, or Marquez gets going again.
But carrying
Oh
much more
man!
speed than Pecco Bagnaia through that corner, and it's all on the front. He tried to hang on to it. Yeah, and at the far end of the circuit between turns 8 and 9, it's disappointment for the crowd as they watch their
Marquez
crash out
did not get going again. Nakagami is now in the points position.
Crash for Mark Marquez, because that's another 4 points in the Jorge Martin's account.
Yeah, but in reality, I think he'll breathe a sigh of relief when he sees his gap is 2.6 seconds. Mark was always going to try and steal those.
Now it's a big ass gap from first to second and second to third.
First of his season, only 3 races to go.
Mark Marquez is back going in 16th.
KTMs, it's not over. There's still 12 laps to go. I think
Miller has pulled away from Binder on that last lap by a couple of tenths.
I feel like Acosta's.
I can't see. Mark, I don't know if the top 2 are going to change. There's less of a gain now by taking risks.
Seconds back.
Could make up a couple of positions.
Augusto Fernandez having a relatively strong run. He's up to 8th.
Nothing in terms of 3rd in the World Championship. In fact, Bastianini has remounted.
I don't think he's beat outside of Rex. I don't know if Augusto Fernandez has actually beaten Pedro Acosta in a race this season. And even now today, despite having running at a pretty solid position for what his equipment is, he still is not ahead still of Acosta.
Well, yeah, so
lap 16.
Bagnaia was doing 39s. He's dropped now. He's slowed his pace into the 40s. That was a 40.3 on that lap. Martin's behind him. He's a tenth of a second quicker, which is not a lot. This next lap's sort of important, really. If I'm Bagnaia, I don't want to encourage Jorge Martin too much, so I want to keep the pace up there. That's that you're walking the tightrope. We just saw Mark. Didn't have a lot of moments, did it? And then you're down. Especially when you lose the front, there's not a lot you can do.
2.8 seconds the gap. He's opening up the gap on this one for Jorge Martin. Jack Miller behind will start to be getting a little bit of a taste in his mouth for a bit of podium champagne.
The wreck again, loses it down in that one turn.
Was it on the white line?
And it hit the curve or whatnot. That's what sent the thing down. The poor kid who has the 93 cut into his hair. The anguish of having your driver wrecked out.
That can happen.
Having your rider wrecked out. Well, it's not out. He's back in 16th, but still.
You see it, but it shows how hard he was concentrated, looking forward.
Since the lights went out, I'm not sure Jorge Martin has blinked. We're getting dry eyes from them being out on stalks, pretty much.
You do feel that, don't you?
So we've got Miller in 3rd, Binder in 4th, Acosta in 5th. Good wet race for the KTM trio.
Tell you what's happening here. Martin's they're closing in on him. Martin's not had a good lap there. He's done a 40.3.
Yeah.
He responded at the
all right, 10 to go.
That 3/10 he lost on the previous lap, he gained it back.
Can Jack Miller find anything here? Remember, he was on the podium here in the wet 2022. On that occasion, it was 7 tenths between himself and Miguel Oliveira, if you remember. Just came through right in the latter stages to pip him for victory. No Oliveira in this race today.
Fastest man on track? I'll give you one guess.
Mark Marquez?
Correct.
Of course he is. Down in 16th, eating up the ground to the riders in front of him. Right. Jorge Martin. Now just bring it home from here. 3 seconds the gap. Bagnaia managing it.
The problem for Martin is 9.5 laps to go, and then you've got Jack Miller, who's, like I said, is nowhere in the championship. Oh, a bit of a slide there for Jack. They're the nice slides, and they actually give you confidence at that point. It didn't snap sideways. You could see that it was totally under control.
Pedro Acosta after 5 DNFs in a row, if we include sprints. Good ride from him.
He's had
first full wet race.
Yeah, he's had 4. I think he's hit 4 finishes in the last 11 outings. So he definitely didn't want a wet race. But he's making the most of it. He made those mistakes early on, but he's regrouped, and he's faster than the 2 KTMs in front of him. Is Pedro Acosta.
Across the line, another lap off, shall we say, for Bagnaia, because Martin just closed in by 0.3 of a second. Fastest rider on circuit.
9 to go. Fabio Di Gianantonio, 139.576, the fast lap.
He's a second a lap faster than your leaders. Obviously, the feelings just come to him. Unfortunately for him, he's 9 seconds behind. I can't see him threatening anybody.
Now Joan Mir goes past in this Honda battle. Looks fun back here.
Joan Mir by Luca Marini.
But there's
He's going backwards, but Johan Zarco also passed. Wait.
He's just
I don't even know.
for the
Never
apex.
mind.
Who's going to be the cutback?
30.
There was room.
Yeah, Joan Mir is going backwards.
Classic. That is classic Thailand. That is classic turn 3.
And now,
All right, 33, 31, 40. Fabio Di Gianantonio passed Vinales earlier.
Which makes life hard, doesn't it? Straight from the off.
There we go.
Front the gap still at 2.5 seconds, then the gap back to Miller still at just over 2 seconds.
Still a lot of this race to go. 2.5 seconds, actually on that lap, Martin was 0.3 of a second faster than Bagnaia. It's not done. It's down to 2.4. The gap's coming down at the front.
I just feel like, from Bagnaia's point of view, he's riding to his pit board.
Yeah.
He does that, doesn't he? How many times have we said it over the last 3 or 4 years now?
Well, it's won him 2 MotoGP World Championships.
The 2 Repsol
Moto2
Hondas.
World Championship.
Side by side. Oh, or no, it's the tail. It's the final year with Repsol sponsoring the team, which is a sad thought of one of the most legendary partnerships in MotoGP coming to an end after our absolutely horrendous couple of years. Somebody wrecked.
Quite sure what's happened.
Digits is so fast.
Why do we yellow flag?
Nothing apparent on our TV screen. Savadori crashed out again.
Lorenzo Savadori, okay, the replacement driver for Trackhouse.
To add to his collection today.
18 riders currently still on the track.
Jorge Martin trying to get that bike
Savadori was
right
outside the top 15.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to make a mistake into turn 4. It's such a fast corner. He's lost 0.3 of a second just in that split.
7.5 laps remaining. Pecco Bagnaia, of course, won in Japan. That was his last win. Before that, his last race win was Austria. Of course, this would be a 9th win if he were to get it across the line. And, you know, that is some esteemed company that he's winning 9.
We have 8 to go right now.
Is, you know, so only the top riders in history have done that. In the MotoGP era, it's only Marquez, Rossi, Stoner and Lorenzo.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Not a bad company to be keeping, but in that, not even leading the World Championship with it. And
no.
he would have, if this was, there were no sprint races, Bagnaia would be comfortably leading the World Championship. In fact, it'd almost be done. 295 played 281 before this one, and just had another 5 to that count. But sprint racing has changed the game, and Jorge Martin is the king of the sprints.
7 to go.
Marquez again past us. Digit fast as well, same sort of times as Marc Marquez. Oh, it's unfortunate for Fabio Di Giannantonio that he's down in 6th place, because if you look at his lap times, he's over half a second a lap faster than the leaders.
Yeah, he's got feel for it, hasn't he? In the late stages. Pedro Acosta might know that because he's started to up his pace too. Probably seeing on his pit board that Digi is approaching at speed, and so he in turn is right on the rear of his future factory colleague Brad Binder. You see what visibility is like out there.
And you know what, that can be what it's like on your visor. There's a bit of dirt on the track, you get a lot, obviously there's a lot of spray. Sometimes you get a little bit of moisture on the inside. The helmets nowadays are obviously at such a high level, but it just can happen.
I think Acosta's riding style would lend himself to being shot in these conditions.
You mean the fact that he lies his body on the floor and keeps the bike upright?
Yeah. You'd be pleased for any of these to be on the podium, wouldn't you?
Yeah, particularly four good guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 gentlemen, absolutely.
Bagnaia across the line. 40.8 from him. It's a 40.6 from Martin. 40.8 from Miller. Binder at 40.7. Acosta at 40.9. And Di Giannantonio at 40.3. So half a second quicker than the leader again.
Yep.
Here comes Marc Marquez on the back of Taka Nakagami. This
Going
is
to 15th. Here comes Marquez,
points
trying to at least 6 laps to go.
Surely we'll just be able to drive past Taka down this long straight down towards turn 3.
Yeah, it's about a second a lap faster than Taka.
On the other side of the straight, Bagnaia already tipping it into turn 4. As you can see in the top left of your screen. Is there a twist in the tail at the front of this race? We're looking at a battle for 15th here with Marc Marquez, who was on the tail of the leader, Pecco Bagnaia, before he slipped out.
Is there a twist in the tail? Well, going off the way this season's gone, I'm going to probably say yes. Oh, Mark's went off there.
Yeah. Anxious, isn't he, to just get through here, but his race for the trophies is done.
It felt he'd had that feel. That's Mark in these conditions. He'll risk everything.
We have 6 to go. We're on lap 21.
8 world titles.
This is the battle for 4 from the heady down towards the final corner. Gap at the front. Just about crossing the line now.
5 to go.
Opens up by another couple of tenths. Bagnaia is just responding to his pit board every lap. If Martin closes a bit, he improves his lap time again. Jack Miller's may well have company in the latter stages of this one. Binder and Acosta a bit quicker than him again.
Interesting that this is where the opening race will be next year for the series.
He's in position.
Another annoying wake-up time. I think it's this. What I think.
Now he turns into
I want to say this is Toto weekend. Ooh!
Sorry, I thought that was going to be contact.
No, it's the completely different way they both corner.
It so is. Pedro always turns in early. I've not had a chance to speak to him why he does that. Don't pass here because it's the scariest corner on the track. And it's so fast into it to turn 4. Trying to keep off the curbs. Oh no, or not. There we go.
Here comes Acosta to 4th. Trying to get by Brad Binder. Side by side, near contact, but he gets it.
Oh, in a moment they collided there with Acosta just slipping.
Acosta knows he'll be driving for the factory team next year.
Meanwhile, the man behind is closing in. Fabio Di Giannantonio.
He got the sense of the podium in his nostrils, hasn't he?
See, Pedro's like you. He's like Marc Marquez. It's that I'm going to be on the podium or I'm going to tuck the front because the 4th means nothing to me. I'm nowhere in the championship.
Yeah, so Miller's going to have company very
Augusto
soon.
Fernandez fallen quite a couple of spots.
There will be 4 laps to
going
go
for his good
in this
run.
Thai Grand Prix.
Yeah, big lap for Bagnaia this. It's a fast lap time compared to Jorge Martin. The gap's really stretched out now. With
3 seconds gap from first to second. 4 to go.
Half a second on that lap.
Starting to dry, definitely not dry, but as in you can see the line, can't you? Where the water has gone. So they might start searching for a few puddles here and there just to make sure these tyres stay in check for the remaining stages, particularly if you are Jorge Martin, because Jack Miller was 4 tenths quicker on that previous lap. Just have to keep an eye on the gaps between Martin and Miller and Acosta. they can see them.
That's the battle for the podium.
Yeah, Miller there at the front, and then Acosta and Binder. There is Martin a little bit further up the road. Just going around a little bit further. There you are to see Pecco Bagnaia in turn 5, now turn 6. Kink right of turn 7.
And now it's one more clean lap for this man. One more lap at this pace. He'll come over the line. He'll have a 3-second lead with 3 laps to go. And it is really job done then.
Ooh, there's a yellow flag further up the order. I think Alex Rins may well have gone by the wayside, promoting Marc Marquez into the points. Yeah, Rins has crashed.
Alex Rins wrecks out.
Not a happy day for Yamaha.
13th.
This is the Marc Marquez move into the final corner.
Oh!
Between himself and
Marquez
his
ran right into
teammates.
Joan Mir, forced him off.
Between them two.
Yeah, haven't we? Shake of the head from Joan Mir.
Don't think they get on anyway.
They never have they?
No.
Always coming through the order.
Oh, wow.
Made comments,
Misses
didn't
the
he?
turn
Through the
completely.
championships about
Slides
Marquez.
off.
Tell you what, Pedro Acosta's fastest man on the track. He's definitely going to be having a dig at Jack Miller with just 3 laps to go.
Another yellow flag out on the racetrack. I'm not sure if that's still for Rins or another one. I think it might be. Someone else has gone away.
3 to go.
No, been taken away. 2.5 to go in the Thai Grand Prix. Look at how Acosta is on the rear now, pretty much, of Jack Miller. Miller needs to tough it out in these latter stages. There is Martin in second. Marc Marquez being told to drop a position for that move.
So he has to fall behind Joan Mir. The driver, the rider he passed, or really pushed out of the way almost.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, obviously, Marquez, a late move, pushing Mir off. He's been told to drop a position.
Called for the penalty is called for irresponsible riding. Acosta going for the podium.
Acosta already this year has racked up 4. Miller not had one to his name in the factory team, and he just means so much, wouldn't it?
It would, but I don't think he's going to get
Yellow flag again.
Here we go. Not this time.
Pedro looks.
I think Augusto Fernandez has crashed.
Oh, Augusto Fernandez, his teammate, has crashed out. Right, 2 laps to go. Miller is going to come under some pressure now from the rookie who's taking his ride.
Enea Bastianini now back in the points.
Might not be Miller's only concern here.
No. Wrong. I got to adjust this because Marquez still has not done his penalty. 2 to go, by the
This is
way.
going to be a move and a half. If he can get
Acosta takes the podium position. Nor Binder trying to come back on the inside. Near contact. They're side by side on the straightaway. Oh, it's a good battle. Mark Miller holding on. Wow. Acosta coming back though. Takes it back. Miller taking the inside lane as a result. Holds on again. Acosta trying to run outside of the inside. A crossover move. And gets the 3rd place again. But here comes Miller back on him. No.
And Fabio from absolutely nowhere. We mentioned his lap times, how quick they were. There's 1.25 laps to go. If you did, you just risk everything.
Jack Miller has no response now to Pedro Acosta.
Marquez has not served his penalty.
He's riding like he's in the dry here, Pedro Acosta.
I'm just gonna assume that maybe it'll get tacked on at the end. No, I don't know how you don't serve your penalty. Also, white flag is out. Last lap at Chang.
Of the Thai Grand Prix, Pecco Bagnaia has toughed it out. He's had a little battle with Marc Marquez.
Digi passes Jack Miller for 5th. 4th, excuse me.
Safe for the next lap, 2.8 miles of the Buriram International Circuit. Jack Miller,
Miller gets
doing
the
everything
position
he
back.
can to hold on to now 4th place. He's going to run wide, surely, in turn 3. Yeah, he does. He's going to lose 4th as well. He cuts back, though, and just like his battle with Acosta.
Oh! Digi gets the position back.
Oh, shake of the head from Miller. He knows that he's done there. He knows that he's not going to be able to get back. Dejection, I'm sure, for the Aussie, but he toughed it out against Acosta. It wasn't to be.
Yeah. And it's so annoying because to finish on the podium feels so good, and obviously that opportunity is gone now.
Well, champions stand up to be counted at the right moment, don't they? And Pecco Bagnaia in horrible conditions here in Buriram today.
Yep, the championship fight still alive for the driver of the the rider of the number 1 Ducati.
Which is what we expected. Like I said, we've witnessed it before. There were some comments yesterday on social media saying that he doesn't have what it takes. Martin wants it.
Definitely does. I want the 89 to take the title. But Bagnaia is not going to make it. You're not going to make it easy.
Right down to Valencia.
Well, let's hope it does, because Pecco Bagnaia has battled back here in
Going for his 9th win of the year, his 27th of his career. Pecco Bagnaia wins the Thai Grand Prix. Martin 2nd, Acosta 3rd, Digi Antonio 5th, Miller 6th, Miller 5th, Binder 6th, Vignale 7th, Zarco 8th, Alex Marquez 9th, Mark Marquez 10th. Although I'm pretty sure there's going to be a penalty given as a result. Luca Marini in 12th. Nakagami 13th, Bastianini 14th, Mir 15th.
It really did. He was prepared to risk a little bit more early on, and it got to the point. You got to the halfway point in the race, and Jorge Martin
and the points gap is 17 with 2 races to go.
And the championship gap closes back down.
17 points. There are still 74 on the table. Jorge Martin still leads. He will have his first chance to clinch the title next time out in Malaysia, come what may.
He needs a 37-point gap coming out of... No, he needs a 38-point gap coming out of Sepang to clinch.
You feel like that's the kind of racetrack which should suit him.
Alright, anyway, that does it for this one. And I'm going to try and go back to bed. But thanks to whoever showed up for this one. Hope I see you for NASCAR and Formula 1 later. BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.